We've sunk an enemy destroyer.
Hey team, it's Ripper here. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Got a great game in the Ragnar, and this is a ship that has been requested to have me review, think about, is it worth the grind and whatnot, and this is my thoughts on it. But before we begin, thank you guys so much for helping us grow the channel. Can't believe it's been a couple years already. On our way to 1,000 subscribers, and that was our ultimate goal when we first started. I didn't think we'd get there, and here we are, and we're looking toward that. If you'd like to help us out to get there, 1,000 subscribers, we're at 920, I believe is right now at the recording of this video. Can't thank you guys enough. Like, subscribe, bell button below if you want to support, and let's get right to it, and I'll tell you my thoughts, and we'll go into the video. But before we begin, initial attack on the Buffalo Tier 9 cruiser. Now, again, you can notice that the way I'm playing this is a little bit more conservative, and you can see why. If I had rushed straight on, head on in, trying to attack their destroyer or sub or whatever it is, I would be kind of obliterated. And that's kind of the meta right now, and I'm trying to play a little bit more conservative. Going against, even though it's a Tier 9 Buffalo, he's got backup, so we're going to have to, basically kite away, run away, kind of give a little bit of spotting, get him to fire, reveal his position, not while we're also shooting back as well, so that we also get damage. And look, there's the torpedoes right there. So again, you can't just go rushing in, guns blazing like we did before. Now you got to play a little bit more conservative, thin out the herd, if you will, and kind of just do this more of a run and gun situation and kind of a guerrilla warfare. And exactly what I'm doing right here is a clear example of the tactics and techniques that really will help you survive a little bit longer, as opposed to being really, really frustrated in the destroyer role. I know a lot of people are really frustrated with the role. It's difficult to play these days, and I'm finding that, you have to play and adapt and overcome with the current meta and the situation given at hand. Look, we have a destroyer in the cap or outside the area. We also have a CV coming in a spot for us. We have radar cruisers. I mean, the destroyer kind of battlefield has been even more dangerous than it has been before. But anyways, let's talk about it. But how do I play the Ragnar, and is it worth the grind? Bottom line, let's go ahead and a TLDR. Yes, it's worth the grind. It's awesome. I still love it. It's really one of the most powerful destroyers in the game. It may or may not fit your playstyle, but if you're a gunboat DD main like I am, this is one of the coolest, most powerful destroyers in the game. They even called it's almost overpowered at one point, and I think that's why they nerfed it a little bit, and I'll explain to you why. So let's talk about the overall Ragnar. What is it? It's one of the European, Swedish kind of destroyers that was, I believe it's still released for, correct me if I'm wrong, steel. I don't think it's a Research Bureau one. I think it's steel, but it is, yeah, ooh, look at that. Slight miss right there, almost scratching the paint right there on the torpedoes. That's one of the downsides of this destroyer is the maneuverability. It is a clunky, big, I would call it a cruiser. It's a mini cruiser. Look at the size of the dang thing, okay? It is a miniature cruiser with cruiser-like guns, and we'll talk about that a bit, but very worth the grind, though. But let's talk about some of the pros and the cons of this. So the pros on this is the guns. The guns are really powerful. Look at that. I built it for long-range capabilities. I mean, you're reaching out to 15.1 kilometers, and you're shooting at a incredible reload of about 2.5 second reload-ish, roughly, right? You can start really good fires, as you've seen there. Even battleships run away from you. You saw earlier the Buffalo ran away from us. The battleship ran away from us. because we're just a menacing little annoying thing to deal with. And the other thing is the guns. The guns are at 152 millimeter that pen 30 millimeter armor, which is awesome. Now, a buddy of mine actually played this in our clan. He actually put IFHE in it, and now you're at kind of 37 millimeter pen. Haragumo battleship kind of like pen levels for just basic battleship cruiser destruction, if you will. And it is a very menacing thing to deal with. Now, I may have to try the whole IFHE build on this thing to see if it really is worth the grind for that, or build for that. But again, you're seeing what we're supposed to be doing right here. We are a miniature cruiser that can sit and farm. And again, if this is not your play style, don't play it. But I like playing gunboat DDs. I like farming. I like shooting. I like being a menace so that my team can go up and push. Notice how nobody in my team is pushing ahead of me. I am literally that phase line where I'm spotting for them, I'm shooting for them, I'm drawing fire for them, and nobody's pushing up forward. And I understand why, because the meta today doesn't support battleships and cruisers pushing up and getting burned down. Now, for a destroyer, it's a little bit easier since we're a harder target to shoot at, and we can actually spot ahead of them, as well as provide a little bit of AA defense, a little sub defense. And so, again, the destroyer role is the multi-role fighter of everything. It does everything that you want the game that made it fun. Battleships and cruisers can't do jack anymore. All they can do is sit in the back, and if you're a radar cruiser, radar for about 20 or 30 seconds-ish, and then you're done. The destroyer is the key role, and if you want to, hey, let me know what you think. If you think that's not the case, if you think destroyers are not the most powerful thing in the game, then let me know. But I've always said, if you keep your destroyers alive, you most likely will win the game. Your odds are in favor if you keep your destroyers alive. Notice how the other enemy team, once they lose all their destroyers, it's pretty much game over at that point. You start seeing their ships dwindle down, and majority of the matches end up that way. I'm not saying all. Sometimes you have some miraculous teams that can play without a destroyer, but I'm saying the majority of the time, destroyers are the key. Now, while we're stopping here to spot for my team, there's the Holland right there. Okay, here's the powerful ability of the Ragnar. Once a Holland or a destroyer or whatever it is shows up, we can have two options. Have them fire at us because we have a major concealment, big concealment, 7.5 concealment, which means we get spotted first. They have an option to either just keep spotting us or they're going to have to shoot at us. When they shoot at us, they reveal their position, and look what we do. We just rain hell down upon them, and it's pretty menacing. I'm also popping the radar just in case he gets out of my range. Now, you can also do that tactic where once you get spotted, as soon as you see it spotted, pop the radar on a Ragnar. Since they both coincide with each other, the concealment equals just the same distance as the radar. You pop, you reveal, you start shooting. I built this for the longest radar possible, so you can see how long it lasted. And we're using that time to really just mop up this destroyer, and this is exactly what the Ragnar is good at. It is a death-dealing, boom, splash one, RIP back to 40, taking out the Holland. That means their destroyers are all down. Watch how the game unfolds after this. Once all the destroyers are gone, you're done. That's what the Ragnar and Smallen excel at. Smallen is the little brother of the Ragnar big brother. The big brother, because the concealment essentially is a lot worse, and it has a little bit more HP, if you will, more hit pool points. So you can see, look, we're taking on a Musashi now, a tier 9 Yamato, if you will, and this is exactly what a Ragnar is really annoying for. It can take on battleships, it can take on cruisers, it can take on destroyers, it can take on everybody, and that's what the most powerful things is. The other cool aspect, not only for the guns, is look at the angles that we're shooting at. These guns are forward-facing 360 guns, which means you don't have to wait for him to spin all the way around. Watch as I turn. Look, the back gun. The back gun continuously just swings with the boat, and now I'm literally, or ship, and the ship is now, again, I'm in a perfect angle to shoot. I don't have to wait for my gun turrets to reposition. They're there to start another fire. Great fire starting ability. 30 millimeter pen without IFHE, 37 if you build with IFHE. It's got a great, incredible reload. I built this for gunboat build as well as a long-range gunboat build, so you got about a 2.7-ish second reload, and the more HP I lose, the faster the guns reload. So it's really, really awesome. Look what I'm doing. I'm just putting the hate on the Musashi right now. AA, again, I'm not going to say much about AA. It's already broken in the game. It doesn't seem to work against. It's kind of like a firework effects. Now, Tier 9 and Tier 8 kind of CVs, if you will, you can see I'm shooting down some planes. So I can hold my own against a Tier 8 CV, and I think that's decent. But what Tier 10 can't handle, Tier 8 CVs, so we're not going to talk about that. The maneuverability, wonky, like I said. It's still worth it, though. The guns and the range and the radar is exactly what makes this thing so powerful, and it's exactly why I got it and I enjoy the playstyle, because as soon as you get spotted, boom, you pop the radar. That's the tactic. Reveal the destroyer, and then you go to town. The other cool thing is you're taking on a Musashi right here head on. Look, he's firing at me rather than anybody else with a Riga, which means I'm more of a devastating power. And Splash 2, RIP back to 40. He's down for the count. Second kill of the game. 112,000 damage right now on a destroyer. And look, my team is still behind me. Destroyers lead the way. We are going to go ahead and push forward, spot for the team, cover for the team, shoot for the team, burn down ships for the team. I mean, that's exactly what we do. And that's what we do is we keep the rest of our fleet safe by going ahead of the pack and providing that forward capability, multi-role fighter, if you will. That is what the Ragnar and all the DDs, that especially the European DDs, are very well known for. So that's exactly my take on it. Let me know what you think below in the comments about whether you like the Ragnar or not. If you think it's a great thing, what do you think about destroyers? Are they the multi-role fighter, the supreme being that is required in this meta of today? But again, why do I like the Ragnar? The greatest thing for those right there is the Ragnar is the guns, the radar, the range, the fire starting capability, the pen. It also has defensive capabilities because the Ragnar has 25mm armor plating, which means most destroyer guns can only penetrate 19, but on the main body of the Ragnar it's 25. So you got a little bit of extra armor there. The con to that is if you use AP, you can pin that no matter what. So again, what could have the enemy team done better than the Ragnar? Well, the first one with the Holland is don't push the Ragnar. I never would have sat there and engaged like that. I would have ran away, kited away. Best don't even engage. Once you're spotted, run away. Stay at a distance, torp, and when you know there's a Ragnar in the game, make sure you know where they're at first before you engage. The next one is the Musashi and the Buffalo cruisers. What could you have done in that situation? Well, for the Buffalo, he could have... honestly, I would have ran away because the Ragnar has powerful guns that can spot you, and you have back team right there. For the Musashi, the only thing you could have done in that situation is run away. There's nothing you can do against a Ragnar because your dispersion does not allow for you to shoot a Ragnar as well. Unless you have good secondaries, I would not push a Ragnar unless you're an Ohio, a GK, a Schlieffen, or something that has great secondaries that can pin the 25mm base plating and the 19mm armor you can hit on the backside. So again, that's pretty rough right there. So look at this. The Lexington right now, yeah, tier 8. It's not going to be able to shoot or aim its planes at a Ragnar. The AA is just too good for tier 8. If you were tier 10, yeah, rush the Ragnar all day. But that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think. The Ragnar, powerful. I like it. Definitely recommend. One of the most powerful DDs in the game. And I'm going to actually do a video where I actually put the IFHE on it. But hey, like, subscribe, bell button below if you like what we're doing here at the channel. Can't thank you guys enough. On our way to 1,000 subscribers. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. And until we get next time, stay safe. Cheers.